Good afternoon, my rogue army. My name is Erin Rogoff, and I would like to welcome you all back to my BookTube channel. So, this spring has been pretty intense with the coronavirus outbreak and personal reasons with my dad. So, I have been occupying myself amid this sort of lockdown where people are only allowed to leave their homes for the supermarket or if somebody has an emergency and needs to go to the hospital. So with that said, I have pretty much been stuck in my house 24/7 unless I'm walking my dog outside. So I have been reading. What else do I do besides reading? A lot, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So anyway, the whole point of this video is I wanted to give you some really good book recommendations to help you through the summer if the coronavirus still is there. Starting with One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This is a young adult fiction mystery novel, and it's about 5 students who enter detention, but 4 make it out alive, and they're all accused of murder, but who really killed the 5th student? It's up to those 4 modern Nancy Drew-ish teens to solve this murder. The second book is Crank by Ellen Hopkins, which is a personal favorite book for me. This is another young adult fiction novel, but it's more poetry. And it is sure to stand out in book reports because not only is this free verse and a quick read, even though it's really thick, it's just such a great novel, even though it covers such a dark subject, which is about drugs. And it's about this girl named Christina Snow who visits her dad for the summer, meets a boy who she thinks she's in love with, and then gets hooked on crank, which is meth. And then very quickly her life spirals out of control, and this is only book 1. There's a trilogy, Crank, Glass, and Fallout. I can't really say which one is my favorite right now because they are all just so good in so many different ways that I could talk about this forever. Okay, maybe not forever, but I could talk about it for at least 24 hours. Third book, The Lost Causes by Jessica Coused-Edding and Alyssa Embry Schwartz. This is a young adult fiction mystery novel, and it's about 5 students in a high school who are thought to be lost causes with difficult home lives and psychological issues, and when they're unknowingly drugged, they develop superpowers and then use their powers to help solve a crime. Now, these psychological problems disappear, and as they solve the murder, they find out that it has more layers than an onion, to put it simply. Anyway, the 4th book on this list is Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeffer. This is another young adult fiction novel. It's more science fiction, and it's about what might happen if a meteor crashed into the moon, knocking it closer to the Earth. My brother is the science to my fiction, so I wrote down notes for him to tell me what would be theoretically true or totally false. And there are no real villains in this novel, but it just deals with a teenager dealing with natural dilemmas. Man against nature, I think that's what it's called anyway. And one of my former teachers really liked the man against nature sort of theme. I'm not sure why, but I read this book like 11 or 12 years ago when I was like 12 years old. So no, it would be 11 years ago. And I was into it then. I reread it now, and I'm still so into it. I still need to read the 4th book in the series, but it is so good that I highly recommend it to you. And the final book on this list is quite possibly my favorite book of all time, which is Gone by Michael Grant. This is another young adult fiction, science fiction novel, and it's the first book in the Gone series, in which there is Gone, Hunger, Lies, Plague, Fear, and Light. And then there's a sequel trilogy, the Monster Trilogy, which is Monster, Villain, and Hero. But those 3 books are also the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th book in the series, and so it just gets confused because so many people say different things about it, so I just say it's the sequel trilogy, blah, blah, blah. It's sort of like, well, the storyline is sort of like if Stephen King wrote Lord of the Flies, but I think it's more like X-Men meets Lord of the Flies. Either way, it's an epic read, and I highly, highly recommend it. Oh my gosh, I have nothing bad to say about the series except that it ended. Anyway, that is all for today, so if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to show some support, subscribe to my booktube channel to get more videos like this, turn those notifications on to be notified when I make new videos, and have a great day, everyone!